Hello everybody, this is Pramita here. Today this is going to be a different kind of video. I have been asked by some of my friends to do a prep with me sort of video as they want to see how I prep my pages. But unfortunately, my prepping session is all full of mess because I tend to layer up so many little bits here and there, itty bitty things, and I just create a large mess. And so what I tend to do is I sit down and try to prep as many pages as possible, like 7 to 8, maybe more. And then I go about journaling on them. And as I go, I either fill up spaces by using small stickers, die cuts, or washi tape. That's my way of doing things. And today I just wanted to give you a small peek into how I think about prepping the pages. So the first page that I'm going to show you, I have already selected some of the stuff that I want to use. These are just some fussy cutout portions from paper pads. As you can see, these are total utter scraps, and you might be wondering how am I going to use them. You will see how they end up on my page, and I hope they will work out okay. So I might need not use everything, or I might use some bits and pieces. So this might be a two-part video, and then in the second part I'll come back and finish the rest. I will try and do as much as explanation possible. So before I begin prepping the page, I would like to show you my insert that is once again hand stitched by me. This was actually made about a year ago when I was just starting out making my own inserts, and this is a tad larger than the standard size. I think it's about even less than a quarter-inch larger in height and in width. But I wanted to do a vintage style journal. So what I did was I used some of this is a Tim Holtz paper that I have used on the cover. I don't remember the collection. It was an 8x8 paper pad, and this is from American Crafts. And as you can see, I've layered bunch of stuff that I found would go with this theme. And I have a pocket out here. These are some of the washi tape that I had bought from our atelier, and I've just cut them out and made them into small bits and pieces. So this is actually double pocket. I'll show you what a double pocket might be like. You can put stuff over here, and you can also put stuff over here. So this is actually a double pocket that I have made just to tuck things in. I hope I'm in frame. Yeah, so just to tuck things in. And I've just as I said, I've layered a bunch of stuff, some from these are I think from a Simple Stories collection, and most of them are from Tim Holtz paper pad. This is a washi, and this is how my pages are looking. Now I had stitched these in this insert specially with pattern papers of mostly from American Crafts with a vintage feel to it. So I'll just do a quick flip of what they look like, because I have prepped the journal halfway through, and most of the pages are, one side they are blank or white, and the other side they have this print on them. Mostly they have a vintagey feel to it. So these are the kind of papers that I have used, and I had already journaled on some of the pages. As you can see, I have used a bunch of washi, a lot of random stuff, and these are tea-dyed paper. I usually tea-dye a sheet and then tear up pieces when I need them, or I tea-dye the papers and stitch them up as my junk journal inserts. So I have journaled till Wednesday, and this is a flip pin. Okay, so that's that. And these are some of the stencils that I have. I don't know the company. I have just stenciled some colors on them, and I will also show you how to use your, if you don't have distress stains or distress paints, this is also um, a flip out. This is from Graphic 45, and this page, this is a tea stained paper. And what I've done is, this is a journaling card, and what I've done is, this is once again another journaling card. So I've just made a tuck spot, and this is a tag. Actually, you can journal at the back, so I have done so, and I'm just putting it over here. So these are like a day a page sort of thing. I have this page, I have not prepped anything over here. This is just a tea stained paper that I have lined on this part, and on this part maybe I'll put something else. I've not decided yet, but let me begin with a fresh page so that you'll get a brief idea as to what I want to mean. So these are actually some scraps that I have. I have my own unique way of storing scraps. I think I did share this on YouTube. These are some of the small booklets that I had made with extra pages or scraps that I have. As you can see, they already hold a ton of scraps inside. Yeah, these are actually envelopes from Planner Society when I was subscribed to them, and I have stapled these extra odd bits of papers that I have into booklets, and so that I can use them when I need them. Yeah, so that's that, as you can see. And that's how I'm keeping my scraps of papers. This is another scrap book sort of thing that I have made. It makes it very easy for you to carry it from one place to another, as well as to, you know, select whichever one you want to use in your journal, or in your planners, or whatever you want. So that's how I have made small booklets of scraps. Here's another one, and here's the other one. So I have quite a few of them, and I do plan to use them when I need them. And here is another one. This is more smaller ones, and which can be used in journals and layering stuff. So that is that. So what I've done is, basically I'm trying to prep this page. So I've chosen some portions from Kane Company paper pad. This is a double-sided paper pad. So, and this had some writings. I was left with this because I had cut out some portions, and this was actually the whole piece that I had. So what I did was, I tore them apart, as you can see, and I have edged them with the tea dye distress ink, sorry, not stain, and I'm just going to layer them up. This is also one of the bits and pieces that I have, and this is also one of the pieces that I'm left with. You might be wondering what's going to happen with these simple small strips of paper. I'll show you how I try to use every tiny little bit. So this is this. So let's begin, and let's see how far can we go. So for the first thing, this paper is already printed with this wooden doily sort of thing. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to make a cluster at the bottom and leave the rest of the page empty to journal, and maybe when I have some empty space, I will go back and add some washi to it. So that's the main idea. So let me make the cluster at the beginning, and then I can show you how I'm going to put my washi in. So the first thing first, I want this portion, this is the base one, and I want this to be at the front or at the top. So I'm going to put it like this. So as you can see, it's going to appear like this. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, it's going to be like this. Okay, and we'll have some small bits and pieces peeking out. So I'm going to fix that up. You'll see how I do that. Now can you see? I hope you can, because otherwise you wouldn't know how my brain is working. So I'm just going to give you a brief glimpse on how I'm going to use up every single scrap that I have sort of gathered from my scrap bins and sort of thing. So this is a little bit rounded, so I'm going to use it over here, maybe. Yeah, so I'm going to make it work. I'm going to pull it downwards and add like this. Yeah, so it's going to be like so. Okay, so let me first glue the first piece, that is this piece, and then we'll move on to the next pieces. So I prefer putting a PVA glue sometimes I use a glue stick. It depends. I'm not very particular about all these things, but often glue sticks take longer time to work on. So since I don't have that much of time, I'm going to do this very quickly. Okay, so I'm going to layer this up. I'm going to put this a little bit at the top. Yeah, while it's wet. And I have this ruler sort of stencil which I'm going to use for smoothing things up. I have seen some of the ladies do this, as it allows your glue to work through. And as you can see, I should have used this a little bit. Never mind, I'm going to move this a little bit over here. Okay, so I'm going to use it like this. I hope you can see it. So I'm going to use the glue right over here. So I am not going to put the glue on all sides. You will see why. Because I want to tuck some things in. So I'm going to put the glued portion, keeping the edges a little bit free of glue. So I'm just going to stick this, but I'm going to keep the edges free of glue. So what I'm going to do is, I want this pink side on top. So I'm going to put glue on this side. And you will see how I'm going to do this over here. So I have this side over here, I have this. So this is from this side. So what I'm going to do is, I want this to be at the top. So I am going to add this. This is a teeny bit, so you have to be very careful with that, because otherwise it will not work. Okay, so that's how it's going to look. I hope you can see what I'm trying to do. I'm going to add another bit over here. So this is another bit that I have, but that's a darker color. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to tuck this thing in. Sorry. So I'm just going to tuck this thing in. Yeah. So these are all irregular jagged pieces that I have landed up with, and now I want to use them up in layering stuff. I don't throw away anything very easily. That's one of the reasons why I have so much of scraps of paper, and I want to use them up. Yeah, so that's that. That's how I am doing this. I think now you will know why I'm just going to tear it with hand. I don't want this to be perfect. I'm just gluing this very quickly. I'll come back and show you the next part, how I have done the rest. So I think I'll end my first part over here. As you can see, I have already glued down some of the base pieces. I'll just finish up this in the second part and show you how I use my washi and other stuff. Okay, so bye, and watch out for the second part.